And welcome in, everybody, here to Homer Bryce Stadium, the home opener for the Lumberjacks at Stephen F. Austin State University as they host the Lobos of Sul Ross. Each team looking for their first win on the year. The Jacks at 0-2 and Sul Ross at 0-1. It's going to be a battle of quarterbacks here tonight. Two senior quarterbacks, Sam Vidlac for the Lumberjacks, Andrew Martinez for the Lobos. Who comes out on top, we'll find out in a minute.
Yeah, the senior for the Lumberjacks, Sam Vidlac, was on a phenomenal trajectory last year before an injury ended it early. He's been a little timid this year. We'll see if he can rebound here tonight.
Sam on the Walter Payton Award list to start the season. Hopes to have a big night here tonight to put himself back on the national stage. A couple of interceptions here in the early going for him. He hopes to get it right here tonight against Sul Ross. Jacks again look for their first win. Try to get to 1-2 after week 3. Same place they were a week ago. Third member of our broadcast team, Nicole Breckelman, down on the sidelines here tonight at Homer Bryce. Throw it down to her. Talk a little bit about the season opener. Nicole, should be a great night.
Yeah, last year SFA dominated North American in the season opener, 77-0, putting up 70 of those points before halftime. The coaches then agreed to have a running clock in the second half, making each of those quarters only 5 minutes. But tonight, Coach Carthel told me that the focus isn't on the scoreboard, it's on the execution. He said that he wants to see a clean game and make sure that turnover margin is lower. Guys?
So the Lumberjacks here at home, again out to an 0-2 start, lost to Houston in week 1. FBS team on the road last week at Abilene Christian. Jumped out to a 14-0 lead. Things were going their way, but then Abilene Christian crawled back into it, and the Lumberjacks gave up 28 unanswered points in that one and ended up falling in that one 28-20. Here at home tonight against the Sul Ross team that, quite frankly, struggled in their opener 2 weeks ago against UT Rio Grande Valley, and the Jacks hope to get off to a fast start. Colby Carthel says he'd like to see his team play hard, quick, and clean through the first half of this one here tonight.
Yeah, this Sul Ross team reminds me a lot of the Jacks when Coach Carthel came in a few years ago. They're trying to find their feet. That's only their second year in this conference. They're trying to find their feet. Let's see if they can do it tonight.
A lot of new parts, a lot of returners for the Lumberjacks. Part of the new part of this team this year, the kicking game. They got a new punter, new kicker, and we are underway here tonight at Homer Bryce Stadium, and the opening kickoff goes out of bounds, so Sul Ross will get great field position to start things out. Andrew Martinez, the senior quarterback out of El Paso Eastwood, was 9 of 12, no interceptions, 41 yards against Rio Grande Valley in week 1. They were off last week. He was sacked 4 times in that openers. The Vaqueros got after the Lobos a couple weeks ago down in Edinburgh.
Yeah, Martinez looks very capable to me. They had a little bit of an issue up front protecting him and trying to get a run game going, which hinders any offense, but I think they're looking to turn that around this week.
So they'll open up here as they bring them to the line of scrimmage, and they will start out with 2 backs in the backfield here. Will the Lobos. 2 men split up top of the screen here, and a snap a little high, but handled by Martinez. Pitches it out quickly, and the Jacks rally and get their first tackle for the loss on the night. Patterson out of the secondary, quickly downhill, gets in the backfield, and that's a loss of about 7 yards on the first play from scrimmage. But again, snap a little high, and it really threw the timing of that play off from the get-go.
Yeah, Josh Harris, a freshman center, got a lot of nerves coming in, playing a bigger opponent than Stephen F. Austin. I can understand that first snap being a little wayward.
So the Jacks again with that 4-man front, 5 on the line of scrimmage here defensively, and they'll try to pressure the Lobos pretty much all evening here. Again, the snap a little high. Martinez running for his life, throws this one out of bounds, incomplete, avoids the grounding as he got outside the tackle box. So a rough start here for Sul Ross. They look at 3rd down and 17, but defensively, SFA is getting exactly what they want. Pressure from the ends and a good push up the middle.
Yeah, you saw Aaron Austin getting pressure on Martinez immediately. Martinez really did a good job. That could have been a 7-8 yard loss. He makes it an incompletion, and they managed to stay in, maybe manageable on the screen or a big draw or something like that here on 3rd down.
Caden Turner and Aaron Austin, the ends right now for the Lumberjacks. Kai Thomas out tonight with an injury suffered last week at Abilene Christian. 6 on the line of scrimmage for the Lumberjacks, and whistles. Is this going to be a delay game? And they'll move it back 5 yards. So if 3rd and 17 wasn't hard enough, how's 3rd and 28? So Martinez again back to his right, handles the snap cleanly this time, gets rid of it, complete out to about the 24-yard line, but the Jacks make a quick tackle and will hold him well short of the yardage needed, and they'll force a 3-and-out on the first series of the evening.
Yeah, he finds Liam Lowe here on the drag across, and there's just nowhere for Lowe to go after that catch. Great defense, way to rally up and make a tackle by that Stephen F. Austin.
Malachi Williams there to make the tackle right away for the Jacks. 4th and long now, and the Lobos will punt here their first time. As I believe Bugs Mortimer back deep here for the Lumberjacks. Returned one for a touchdown a week ago, and this is a line drive kick angled away from him, but he'll chase it down near the sideline at the 30. Back to his right, trying to bounce it outside, trying to get to the edge. Can't quite get there. And the Lobos with decent coverage contain Mortimer. And just a 2-yard return, but SFA will take over 1st and 10 at their own 32-yard line here, as the offense will get their first crack at Sul Ross here this evening.
Yeah, you mentioned the return last week. He was trying to bust a big one there, get to the edge. Sul Ross did a great job containing him and getting him down for a 2-yard gain.
We talked about Sam Vidlak in the opener. Vidlak, 6'1" senior out of Applegate, Oregon. Last year completed about almost 69% of his passes, missed the last 3, only 3 interceptions, 23 touchdowns a year ago. Already a couple of picks and no touchdowns through the air so far this year. Swings it out to his favorite guy, Kylon Harris, and Harris tackled for a loss. Good open field stop there by Sul Ross as the corner comes up strong and makes a good stop there on Harris.
Yeah, I think that might have been Dempsey Spears. He kind of play him as a nickel and a corner. He's very fast. He does a great job coming down and making that tackle.
Bunch set up top there for the Lumberjacks, and Sam wants to get it out again to his speedster. Harris this time with a block, trying to make a man miss. Good tackle again by Sul Ross, and Harris will go down just beyond the 40-yard line and set up 3rd and short here for the Lumberjacks.
And great perimeter blocking by the receivers. That's the hardest thing for a receivers coach to get the rest of those guys to do.
Jacks playing quickly here, already on the ball, and they'll try to run it with Wembley for the first down, and he's going to be held a yard short as he only got 1. And again, just not much push up front for the Lumberjacks. And that starting line is Robert Keller and Chimdi Wiwu at the tackle spots. Darren Wianco, Jake Henry at the guards, Eric Gray at center for the Lumberjacks. 4th and 1, Jacks will go for it. A flag flies. They will run it up the middle, and they'll have the first down as they get about 3 yards.
Flag on the play.
Jarrell Wembley again with the carry. So Sul Ross lines up off sides. Jacks are going to pick up the first down anyway. They'll pick it up, take the penalty. Actually, they'll decline the penalty. They'll just take the run there by Wembley and move it out to the 44-yard line, 1st and 10 Lumberjacks. So Wembley, 5'11", 195-pounder out of C.E. King High School in Houston. 330 yards a year ago. Here's Sam, pressured, rolls to his left, looks downfield, has a man wide open, caught at the 20-yard line, 10, 5, grabbed and down to the 2-yard line. One of the big tight ends new to this team, and a completion to a tight end deep downfield. The Jacks knocking on the door.
It's just a great job by Vidlak. Sul Ross gets pressure on him early. He doesn't panic. He just avoids it, buys some time, and keeps his eyes downfield. That's what made that play, was him keeping his eyes downfield. Rather than looking to be a runner, he's still looking to be a thrower.
Gerald Ademo, the transfer from South Florida, with his first catch as a Lumberjack, and the SFA has it now 1st and 10, or 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. The official making an announcement there, couldn't quite hear what he was saying. The Jacks 1st and goal at the 2. So there was a penalty against Sul Ross. They move it to the 1. 1st and goal there for the Lumberjacks. Power formation. They overload the right side. Vidlak under center now. Toss it to Wembley coming right, and he gets into the end zone untouched. And the Lumberjacks strike first and lead 6-0.
And I wondered coming into this is Coach Ross, the offensive coordinator for Stephen F. Austin's second year. That second year, you can start adding a lot of wrinkles, a lot of trick plays your second year after you get that base install out of your way.
Again, they had an extra, basically had a defensive lineman in there as a wingback, overloading that right side, and they get a strong push, and Wembley's into the end zone untouched from a yard out. The Jacks await the extra point. As the kicker, this is going to be Carlos Alvarado, transfer from Texas State with the extra point. His kick is up and good. So with 11:31 to go first quarter, SFA strikes first. They lead 7-0 here at Homer Bryce Stadium. We're back with the kickoff after this.
Yeah, as you can see, Jaden Southard is not playing tonight. He is out with an injury, but hopes to be back next week. Coach said that he is the alpha male leader of the defense and that he bleeds a dark shade of purple. He recorded double-digit tackles in back-to-back games for the first time as a Lumberjack. On the other side of the ball, I spoke with head coach for the Lobos, Lee Hayes, and he said the message is simple tonight for his team. Play hard and hit harder. He wants his guys to go out there and put their best foot forward against this tradition-rich FCS program. Guys?
The kickoff here of the Lobos. They get a good return, and it looked like a takedown by one of the member of the return team, allowing the return man to get to the edge. I don't see a penalty flag, so this one's going to stand. So great field position here for Sul Ross after that kick and the coverage there by the Lumberjacks. As you'll see it, I think, coming into your screen right there, like 41 with the hold, but it was not called. And allowing Sul Ross to get to the edge. They got good field position here. Near midfield, 1st and 10 now at their own 47-yard line.
Yeah, that was Kyrie Payton on that return. And, man, when he got the edge, he was flying. Luckily, the kicker took a good angle, or I think he might have broke it.
So here's Martinez in the offense. They went 3 and out their first time. 2 receivers to his left. Martinez looking to pass, pressured. Now brings it up, bounces it outside, gets to the boundary, and will get it upfield for about 10 yards. Almost a late hit, but Martinez, I think, with a foot still inbounds as he was hit. As you can hear him discussing it with the line judge over there.
And that was a
10-yard
great job. A lot of young quarterbacks, they want to get out by going backwards and out. He steps up and then gets out. And because he does that, no one gets a hand on him, and he turns what could have been a sack into a first down.
See there now, the Jacks rotating a bunch of people up front. Lawate jerking up there at one of the defensive end spots now, top of your screen. 7 on the line of scrimmage here for the Lumberjacks. Snap a little high, more pressure. Martinez giving ground this time, throws this one up for grabs and almost picked off, heading out of bounds. As that one was just up in the air, waiting for somebody to come get it.
And I think they're going to be asking if he was out of the tackle box because he got a lot of depth, but he never really got outside. So you can see the officials discussing that right now.
And this is good. If they drop a penalty flag back there, it's going to be a loss of close to 20 yards. The Jacks have a man down on the backside of this play. We can't see who that is. As you see here, Martinez. And that, the other thing was, did the ball get back to the line of scrimmage? So that's Kamard Kimball, one of the defensive tackles. Jack's already without Kai Thomas tonight, but Kimball shaken up, being helped off here. And that's one thing that this team has been, the Lumberjacks a year ago, phenomenal up front. They still got a great deal of depth, but you start losing a couple of your starters in that starting rotation up there, it gets thin quickly. After the incompletion, no penalty flag. They wait for Mr. Kimball to get to the sideline. It's going to be 2nd down and 10. But the snap has been an issue here for Sul Ross in the early going. This one good, little speed option, pitch it out the left side, but the Jacks set the edge quickly, and there is nowhere to go, and we got penalty flags on the tackle. Does it look like Aduse was out there? Helping to set the edge. Also out there from his secondary spot was Malachi, or linebacker spot was Malachi Williams. So again, Personal foul there against the Lumberjacks is going to give Sul Ross a first down. 15-yard walk-off will move the ball down inside the 30.
Yeah, and I think they got Ed Bobineau on that one. You know, you hate to see that, a guy hustling to the ball, trying to help his team get the ball carrier down, and just an incidental face mask. It's kind of one of those things that they happen, you got to just move past it.
Jacks again crowding the line of scrimmage. They shift 6 in the box this time as the safety walks up, showing pressure off the edge. And they bring it. Martinez sets, throws up top, and here comes a late penalty flag again. Looked like receiver, they got their feet tangled up, and the penalty flag will go against Patterson and the Lumberjacks.
Yeah, you're right. They did get their feet tangled up, but I think what got Patterson was when he was falling down, those hands come out. And anytime an official sees those hands come out, they're going to call it every time.
So back-to-back 15-yard penalties here against the SFA defense. And Sul Ross, who, again, with just... And the Lobos now with a man down back here as well. So a quick timeout here on the field, but we keep it here. And the Lobos with one of their offensive linemen shake it up. That's their left tackle, Chris Edwards, out of Arlington Seguin. Kind of humid tonight. That'll be something too. I mean, Sul Ross didn't travel a ton of guys. Lumberjacks dressed out about 90. So as the evening progresses, and Nicole will tell you, I would suspect a little bit later, a little warm and humid down there on the turf at Homer Bryce tonight. But 1st and 10 here for the Lobos at the SFA 13-yard line. 2 tight ends, power set. They run it up the middle. Williams is the first Lumberjack to make contact after a gain of about 2. As on the carry, David Smith, the sophomore out of Bakersfield, California, had 5 carries for minus 11 yards. I think his longest carry was a no gain 2 weeks ago. Picks up a couple there.
Well, we talked about Chris Edwards going down right there. If you look at this Sul Ross offensive line, it's freshman, sophomore, freshman, sophomore, junior. This is an incredibly young unit. They're only going to get better with time, but it's going to be hard going for them right now.
2 tights with an offset eye here behind the quarterback under center. Running the option, runs into the tackle, pitches it back. It's loose. And a scramble back near the 30-yard line. And Sul Ross is able to go back and get it as David Smith falls on it.
And David Smith, I mean, that's a massive loss, no question about it. But if he doesn't fall on it, that's going 6 the other way. So sometimes it's those hustle plays that don't show up on the box score that really save a drive.
But that one was blown up just by penetration from the SFA defensive tackle, who pushed either the guard or the tackle right back into the quarterback and caused a bad pitch. So here we go, 3rd and long now. 3rd and 24. The ball at the SFA 27-yard line. Back out of the gun. Martinez, deep shot up the near sideline. Well covered and picked off in the end zone. Touchback Lumberjacks. They get their first turnover of the night and a takeaway by the defense.
I think it was Jaden Johnson, number 37.
Yep.
And he just does a great job. He turns into a receiver as soon as he gets his head around. He's got phenomenal ball skills, goes up, high points that ball, and just beats the receiver for the interception. Just a great play by him.
So the Jacks take over 1st and 10 at their own 20 after the takeaway, and that's something that Mike Lutz was talking about at practice Thursday, is that a year ago we were +5 in turnovers after 2 games. This year -4. So big swing there. So there's the first takeaway here of the night. 1st and 10 Jacks. Vidlak back to work. Little inside zone out over the 20, out to about the 24-yard line. As Richard Reese gets his first carry, transfer from Baylor.
He's on the carry for SFA.
2nd down and 6. Good drive started there. Just get a little positive yardage. And
2nd and 7.
Second and about 6.5, almost 7 here. Vidlak wants to pass. Swing it underneath. Intended for Harris and off his hands. He was well covered at about the 28-yard line. And it goes incomplete.
Yeah, and it looked like a little miscommunication. The tight end runs a stick, and he's open, but typically you don't have two receivers running into one another. I don't know what happened there, miscommunication.
Daryl Minor, the linebacker, there in coverage. Here's 3rd and 7 now. Vidlak looks left, comes off of it, back right, late, swings it out in the flat, caught. Trying to get to the sticks and does is Reese, as he picks that one up on his own. After the catch, picks up about 8 yards after that catch, and it's 1st and 10 Lumberjacks.
And that's a quarterback's best friend, when you can throw that safety valve out to the flat and trust your guy to go pick up that first down. Takes a lot of pressure off the thrower.
Vidlak again works out of the gun this time with 2 receivers to the bottom of the screen. You see the split in up left, up to the top, and a run inside to into the boundary that time, and Reese will only get a yard, maybe a yard and a half. And the Jacks again with a man down. That looks like the tight end, Ademo. LeVar Lindo out tonight. Hopes to return in a week or two. And Ademo is down. And again, we talked about it, you know, the humidity here. You would think it's a little bit too early. Jacks certainly would be more accustomed to it than the Lobos here this evening, but it is warm. But we'll see. But already trainers on the field here for the 3rd time quickly, and it looks like they look at his lower leg here and can't tell if it was an ankle or they're trying to stretch something out. And they're going to send it to a media timeout. So 7:26 to go first quarter, 7-0 Lumberjacks. You're watching FCS football on ESPN+. Lumberjacks with a 7-0 lead, set up by this big play as Sam Vidlak found his tight end downfield, setting up the Lumberjacks 1st and goal, ultimately at the 1-yard line. And here's Wembley walking it in untouched. Jacks down the sideline as we return to action. That's Reese breaking free, stays in bounds, turns it in, up the field, touchdown, Stephen F. Austin. Richard Reese.
What a run by Richard Reese. He already picked up a first down with a swing pass just earlier in this drive to come back from the break, and he's got the ball in his hands before we're even finished talking, and he's in the end zone in a flash.
You see it here, just out in the flat again, gets to the edge, gets a good block downfield, and then the rest was Richard Reese. Hard man to catch, and turning it back up toward the middle there. And a little interference by Clayton Whalen, and the Lumberjacks strike just that quickly again. So 2 big plays, one to set up a score, and a big play there from Vidlak to Reese as Sam gets his first touchdown pass of the year.
And look, as a former quarterback, you love the easy ones. If I can throw it laterally and get 60, 70 yards on my stat sheet, great. It makes me feel a lot better.
The 13-0 away the extra point here is Alvarado on for the extra point. Kicker's a little bit, we don't have a kicker wearing double X pants this year. As Alvarado's extra point is up and good as the Lumberjacks got a penalty flag on the extra point attempt. So I think somebody lined up offsides. We see. Yep. So Sul Ross lined up again in the neutral zone. The Lumberjacks will decline that penalty. The extra point was good. A quick strike, and it's 14-0. And we kind of alluded to it in the opener that, you know, Sul Ross, they're just quite frankly, they're outmanned here tonight. They transitioned from Division III to Division II, joined the Lone Star Conference a year ago, and they're just trying to get better. And this is an FCS program that the Lumberjacks made the move from D2 to Division I back in the 80s. So they've been doing this a while at this level. And I don't think that it will be, you heard Nicole talk about it in the open, it won't be North American, I don't think, where we'll play 5-minute quarters in the second half, but it should be a game in which the Lumberjacks should be able to kind of impose their will on Sul Ross here tonight.
That's certainly what this Jacks team hopes for, but I remember a Jacks team a few years ago that paid a Prairie View A&M team to come in here and won. So you can never take your opponent lightly. Sul Ross has shown some flashes, We'll see if they can continue and put a string together a drive.
They got it down inside the 30-yard line a moment ago on their last possession, and this kick here from Jacob Hand sails into the end zone for a touchback. A moment ago, or the last time they received a kickoff, they returned it out near midfield. This time they'll start out at their own 25-yard line. the defensive unit has done a pretty good job. I mean, the penalties on that last drive really moved Sul Ross as much as the Lobo offense, but they did have some positive plays. And they'll try to get things going here and get settled into this one. Long way from Alpine to the pine trees here in East Texas. Martinez takes the snap, handoff inside run this time. And that one's bottled up and dropped for a loss of 1 back at the 34-yard line.
And a good play call there. Sul Ross is trying to get those young guards and tackles on the move so they're not having to just straight up man up a bigger, stronger defensive line. They pull the guard and the tackle there, get them on the move, see if they can catch a guy off balance. Just can't quite get there. Again, a very young unit up front.
They give them the line of scrimmage, so no gain on that one instead of a loss of 1. Second down and 10 here. As Martinez again, this time will send trips out left, single receiver to the right. As they'll spread the field. Jacks with just 5 in the box here, 4-man front. And they'll rush 4, and here's that pitch out on the edge, and the Lumberjacks quickly sniff that one out, get there and make the tackle in the backfield.
I think it was Jaden Johnson again. He got the interception earlier, and then there he comes up and makes the tackle in the backfield.
A loss of about 6 now, 3rd and 16 here for the Lumberjacks. 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. 14-0 SFA back in the Southland Conference. They rejoined the Southland a year ago. Their second season back in the Southland after some time in the WAC and the United Athletic Conference. So 3rd and 16 here, and a chance to get off the field for the SFA defense. Pressure, hit, back down at the 8-yard line. First sack of the evening for the Lumberjacks. Duce gets there, and I think he'll get credit for this sack. Xavier Potts was also applying pressure up the middle. And you'll see they run a little stunt, and Duce just beats the tackle coming across his face inside and gets the sack back inside the 10, and Sul Ross will punt from their own end zone.
And that's going to be the hardest thing for a young offensive line is communication. When they stunt, when they got blitzes they've got it picked up, can you get it communicated amongst the 5 of you?
Mortimer waits back about the 50-yard line. Jacks bring a little pressure this time. This kick angled away from Buggs again. He'll field it at the 50. Little stutter step, now runs to his right. Sees a crease, takes it, 40, breaks a tackle, 35. Grabbed and spun down at the 31-yard line. A return of 19 for Buggs Mortimer.
And he kind of tripped himself up a little bit, or he might have scored again. He had the big return last week, and then right there, that was almost another one.
That could have been, was that Jalen Mayo? So 1st and 10 Lumberjacks. No, that was Buggs. That T-shirt, you see it right there, slowed him up just enough that allowed the help to get there and make the edge. Because if he gets that extra step to the edge, we got a timeout on the field. We'll take it. 4:48 to go first quarter. Back with Lumberjack football after this on ESPN+. Warm Saturday night here in Nacogdoches. Home opener for the Lumberjacks of Stephen F. Austin. Sul Ross, the visitors here tonight. 14-0 SFA. 1st and 10 at Jacks. Bidlack at quarterback with time. Sets, delivers toward the post. Has a man down there. Kylan Harris. Touchdown Lumberjacks.
And that was right on the money. A great pass. Kylan splits the corner into safety. They're late getting there, and Sam throws just an absolutely perfect ball.
So Harris with his first touchdown reception of the year, and the Jacks extend the lead to 20-0 here. 4:42 to go in the first quarter. You see he had a couple of steps on the secondary. And that's not just Sul Ross's problem there. He's going to get a couple of steps on a lot of people over the course of the year.
And again, we can't stress this enough with Sul Ross. I mean, that's a freshman corner that gets a little confused. They are young everywhere. We talked about their first year in this conference. They are just young, and it's going to take some time to get some learning.
And part of that youth, that's like the 3rd time that they've lined up and jumped for the special teams play. They jump there. Jacks decline the penalty, and they will await the extra point here. Carlos Alvarado. Sophomore from Tomball, transfer from Texas State. 3 for 3, or 4 for 4 actually on points after so far here in 2025. As this one is up and good. So Alvarado makes it 21-0 with 4:42 left here in the first quarter. So the Lumberjacks offensively have done what they wanted to do so far. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns, big plays have set up all of them.
Well, in defense as well, they've got an interception already. They've had some big negative plays in the backfield on Martinez and the running back. So it's going all Jack's way tonight so far. Let's see what Sul Ross can do in response. That's the biggest thing for a young team, for a team trying to find their first win, as we mentioned in the pregame. Can you respond to this early adversity?
Jacob Hand to kick it away here for the Lumberjacks. Sul Ross on their first kick return had a great return. Get it out beyond the 40-yard line. The last one sailed into the end zone, and I suspect that Hand has been told, put it down there in the paint and do not allow Sul Ross the opportunity to return it. We're fine setting things up here at the 25-yard line. As this one in the air, driving kick that lands 8 yards deep. And it'll be Andrew Martinez. And the offense going back to work here for Sul Ross. Ducey, Turner, Aaron Austin, and Fields up front here for the Lumberjacks defensively. As Martinez and Smith in the backfield to start this possession for the Lobos. 21-0, Lumberjacks with an early lead. Home opener for SFA. Martinez fakes it, rolls out to his left, looking downfield. A late penalty flag comes in the secondary. Might have been a hold on that out cut. I think they're going to call pass interference here against the Lumberjacks.
Pass interference, 4-12, defense. Automatic, first down.
So that's Jalen Mayo. They call the pass interference on. Is I think right at the top of this route, right there, they get tangled up. I thought it might be a hold, but the ball was already in the air, so.
Yeah, and a great route by Ramirez. That's exactly how you teach it. Push it, make them think you're going vertical, and then snap it off. As soon as Mayo knew he was beat, he just reached out to grab him, trying to, maybe not get caught.
Out to the 37-yard line. 1st and 10 now, Sul Ross. Martinez works out of the gun this time. Flanker out top of the screen. Again, bouncing it out to the left side. Grabbed and breaking a tackle at the 40. Flag flies, but the second man gets there and will make the stop for the Lumberjacks. Sako Alafipo with the tackle for the Jacks, the safety transfer.
And that was Kendrick Jefferson that just kind of refused to go down. He kept finding holes, kept breaking arm tackles, and gained some positive yards.
So another personal foul against the Lumberjacks. That's their 3rd personal foul and a pass interference here. So 4 early penalties against the defense here in the early going. And Alafipo there. I'm not sure where. I don't know where the personal foul was.
I think right there.
Lumberjack territory to the 44, 1st and 10.
So across the 50 goes Sul Ross. 1st and 10 now at the SFA 44-yard line. And the penalties moving the ball here for Sul Ross. Martinez a give inside again, and not much running room this time. Jacks stay home, bottle it up, and they'll get about a yard, maybe a yard and a half. Aaron Austin and Turner up off the bottom of the stack there for SFA.
And that was Jefferson again. A 2-yard run doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're getting contacted in the backfield and you manage to keep churning those feet and get positive yards on 1st down, the coach is going to love that effort.
So 2 backs now in the backfield with Martinez. as they spread the formation, and Martinez will stay on the ground. They give it to the fullback, and there is nowhere to go that time. As there were Potts and others in on the stop there for the Lumberjacks. Joey Finley in on that tackle. Setting up third down and about 8 now for Sul Ross.
Yeah, a kind of a triple option look there. Martinez opts to give it to Hazen. To be honest, even if he keeps it out here, it's probably going to be the same result. There's just a ton of penetration by the Jacks defense.
So third down and 8. Third down play here for the SFA defense. Leading 21-0. Martinez sets, looks over the middle, drag route, had him wide open, and through his hands, incomplete. Williams was in the neighborhood for the Lumberjacks. But
and you see Liam Lowe come across from the left to the right, and he's open. Gets his head a little bit before he catches the ball. You remember he caught one of those earlier in the game and got hit as soon as he caught it, so maybe that's in the back of his mind. Just got to make sure you secure it before you turn your head and take off running.
So fourth down and 8 now, and Sul Ross to punt. Mortimer this time waits back inside his 10-yard line. As the Jacks are going to take a timeout here with 2:50 left in the first quarter. So Colby Carthel not seeing something he liked on special teams, and he's very much involved in the SFA special teams. And there's the issue, I think, right there. Cameron Reddick was late to get into the huddle, and I think Coach Carthel was reminding him that you're on special teams, you're on punt return.
And there's nothing worse than a situation like that. You have a mat over here. Everyone's got to put their foot on their number on the mat so you know, hey, change of possession, whatever, punt team ready, punt return team ready. Everyone ought to be here. There's no excuse to not get out there. Those are the kind of things that drive coaches absolutely crazy.
So the Jacks now, I think, with all 11 out there. See if they try to come after him. They peel back here, and this kick, little floater. Mortimer will call for the fair catch and make it inside the 10-yard line. And a late penalty flag comes in here in the secondary again. Jacks are going to have it at about the 8 or 9 yard line after the fair catch, but we wait for the penalty here. That was a back judge, and you would think he was probably watching one of the gunners over there coming down. So you would think, I would guess, if I had to venture a guess here, a hold against the Lumberjacks on that punt. But we wait. The explanation continues over there to the Southland crew. They talked him out of it. You didn't see anything. Obviously, the penalty flag just fell out of your pocket. Pick it up. Let's go. So 21-0. Jacks start off with their worst field position of the night as they actually mark the ball at the 7. So Sam Vidlak goes back to work here with 2 receivers out to the bottom of the screen and everybody else in tight. Give it inside. That's Williams, I think, with his first carry of the night out over the 10. As he gets knocked off his feet near the 11-yard line, a gain of about 3. So Anthony Williams, Jr. out of Orlando, Florida, transfer from Central Florida. With his 8th carry of the season. Fake it, swing it out right side, and on an island out there. Catch made, but driven out of bounds. Good coverage over there by the corner for Sul Ross because he is all alone with Blaine Green, and if he doesn't make that tackle, there was nobody else on that side of the field to help.
And at 6'2", 209, Blaine Green's a hard guy to bring down by yourself out in the open field. What a tackle.
So third down and a yard here for the Lumberjacks. As they'll go wing right. Fake the counter and just run a little quick hitch on the right side. Caught for the first down out to about the 23-yard line. They go back to Blaine Green. And again, good coverage over there. Mark Bernard out of Dallas, the transfer from UT Permian Basin with the tackle.
And it looked like it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. It kind of came out a little funny, but Blaine does a great job of keeping his eyes on the ball, catching it, getting that first down.
Back-to-back catches here for Grain, gives him 10 for the year now. Sam wants to pass, wants a deep shot, and he's hit as he lets it go, I think. And that one flutters incomplete, and he's a little slow to get up. Being helped up, and we got a penalty flag in the middle of the formation near the line of scrimmage. Jason Crowder's in there at right guard now. And so for the second time, they pick up a penalty flag. No foul on the play. Incomplete. Second down and 10.
And I think they were looking at hands to the face right there, but it looked like it just missed Vidlak's face mask and actually got him kind of in the neck chest area.
So second down and 10. Sam again, short set. Now short roll left. Hooks up, looks downfield, complete near the 35-yard line. And that's going to be a gain of about 12 yards and enough for a first down there for the Lumberjacks.
And that was Bugs Mortimer. We've already seen him on a couple of returns. He's got some wheels, hard to cover in the back end.
First and 10, Lumberjacks on the move. Quickly back on the ball here. Vidlak will give inside with a little crease out over the 40. Anthony Williams straight downhill for 8. And it'll bring up second down and 2. Whalen is flanked out wide to the top of the field. 2 receivers inside him. As the Jacks not allowing Sul Ross to catch their breath here.
Second and 2 is a big chunk play down. If you want to take a shot, now's the time.
Instead, they give it inside. There's Williams again with another big crease. Out over the 50 into Sul Ross territory at the 49-yard line. And it'll bring a fresh set of downs here for the Lumberjacks.
Hey, when your offensive line is moving guys like that, don't listen to me. Just run the ball and do what you came to do.
Yeah, the Jacks, it would appear they do get a playoff here with a second left in the first quarter. Vidlak on the out toward Whalen. Caught near the sideline, stepping out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Will go Clayton Whalen, and that'll bring it up to the end of the first quarter. 21-0. Lumberjacks with the lead over Sul Ross. Home opener here for the Jacks at home. Big plays. Richard Reese, a big part of it. And the Jacks up 3 scores, trying to add to it. This is FCS Southland Conference football on ESPN+. 21-0, start of the second quarter here. Lumberjacks leading it over Sul Ross. Nicole down on the sideline has a quick injury update here on the Lumberjack offense.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. If you've been watching since the opening kick, you may have noticed tight end Gerald Ademo left the game with an injury in the first quarter. The good news is he is walking along the sideline, and he's now back out there for the Lumberjacks. Guys.
Vidlak wanted to dump that one on a little screen right side, and Sul Ross gets pressure, and the Jacks can't get it away. They kind of blew up the screen and made Sam pump it. He has to hold it, and he'll end up going down back at the 48-yard line. First sack of the night for the Lobos.
Yeah, that was the corner, Mark Bernard, that made that play. Sam wants to hit that tunnel screen, and he just cannot, or else he's going to throw an interception. Good decision by Sam, just taking the negative play and moving on to play third down.
3rd and 9. Vidlak wants a shot up the near sideline. Has a man, Blaine Green, behind the coverage, but overthrows him incomplete. But that was well covered as they had safety help over the top in the corner, running step for step there with Blaine Green, the transfer from Oklahoma State.
And that corner was Bernard again, just made a great play on the tunnel screen, and then right there in coverage on Blaine Green, step for step.
So 4th and 9, and the Lumberjacks forced to punt for the first time tonight. Vidlak in that first quarter, 10 of 12, 198 yards, 2 touchdowns, was just sacked a moment ago for the first time here tonight. So on to punt. Lumberjacks punt here for the first time. And for the second straight season, Australian handling the punting duties here for the Lumberjacks. This one an end over ender. Fair catch made at the 8-yard line. So Sul Ross backed up after the good kick there for the Lumberjacks. And the Lobos will start things out 1st and 10 at their own 8-yard line. Lachie Posabon is the punter, the Australian. And it was an open battle through the spring and the summer trying to find a new kicker, new punter, and Jacks was settled in. Jacob Hand back to handle the kickoff duties, and I would think that we may see him during the SFA fans will see him during the course of the year on long field goal attempts. Remains to be seen. 1st and 10. Second man through, nowhere to go. That's Smith with the carry for Sul Ross. May have gotten a yard to the 9. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9.
It looks like Sul Ross is going to change personnel here, take a fullback out, bring in an extra wide receiver. I think they're kind of realizing that it's going to be hard going up in the middle of the teeth of that SFA defense. Maybe we got to get the ball to the sidelines here.
Elijah Fields inside right now to Houston North Shore, and the Jacks with 8 on the line of scrimmage, now 9 up there as they back out of it and shift the defensive front. 2nd down and 9. Little fake and a sack as Martinez had nowhere to go. As Jacks had immediate pressure.
I think it might have been Brooks off the edge right there. That's just the perfect defensive play call right there for a naked boot. You don't have a blocker coming over there, so when you bring that edge pressure, there's no one there. It's just an easy sack right there.
Loss of about 6, and it's 3rd and long now. 3rd and 14, 15 needed for the 1st down. Early minutes here in the 2nd quarter. 21-0 Lumberjacks with the lead. Martinez working out of his own end zone. Might have gotten some movement. They did, as it looked like the left guard was trying to get out of there and pull to his right, and may have moved a half step early. So that backs them up inside the 3-yard line now. And this is, you would think this is just run it up the middle and avoid a safety. They did it again. Same play, and the guard again moved early. It's like, man, it's hard for me to get all the way over there to the B gap. On the backside, I got to get a head start.
And again, there's some injuries for this SFA defensive front, but that is a very good unit. Even their 2nd and 3rd guys are very, very good. So for a young offensive lineman, like you say, trying to get to that B gap on pulling, doing things like that, yeah, you are trying to get as early as you can to give yourself every advantage. That's
Jose Chavez, 6'4", 310-pounder. This time he stays put. He makes the lead block, but he missed it. And trying to get out of the end zone, I think they get back to the 1-yard line as the Jacks had initial contact in the end zone.
And Stephen F. Austin has been close to blocking a punt already in normal field range. So right here backed up, the kicker's going to be very, very condensed. This is a time where you're going to see Stephen F. Austin pin their ears back and try to block this one.
Yep, he's only going to get 10 yards on this drop here, and usually they get about 13 or 14. So see if they come after it, or they try to get Bugs a block or two and see if he can break one. He waits back at the 40. They'll get great field position one way or the other, you would think. Snap high but handled, no pressure. End over ender short. Hits at the 28, bounces out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. So the Jacks will have it 1st and 10 at the Sul Ross 28-yard line. 11:51 to go first half. 21-0 Lumberjacks. With the lead, they've scored on 3 of their 4 possessions. We'll find out what they do on their 5th when we return after this on ESPN+. 21-0 Lumberjacks with the lead. They get a short field after a short punt by Sul Ross out of their own end zone as the Lumberjacks go back to work. Leading by 3 scores, Vidlac at quarterback turns, and a handoff coming right. Wembley trying to put a foot in the ground and get upfield, tripped up, and will go down after a gain of about 3 to the 25-yard line.
And good movement by that veteran offensive line for Stephen F. Austin. Wembley kind of trips up, but there's a hole there. If he keeps his feet, that's going to be a big gain.
Spread formation here now. Wembley flips over to the right hand of Vidlac. Sam, little play action, swing it out right side, caught. Upfield at the 20, 15, and down to about the 11-yard line goes Bowler, his first catch of the night. Jacks move the sticks, and they want to hurry as they go tempo here. 1st and 10 now, at just inside the 12-yard line as they'll mark it down there. Midlag, toss it, coming left. Wembley, break it outside at the 5, into the end zone, touchdown Lumberjacks. Jarrell Wembley stretches the lead to 27 as the Lumberjacks have scored on 4 of their first 5 possessions here tonight.
And that was all Robert Keller, the left tackle, 6'7", 306 pounds. Look at him out there moving his feet, getting his hands on guys, opening that up for Wembley. Robert Keller, a phenomenal play right there.
So the Jacks lead 27-0 here with still 11 minutes to go first half. Carthel said earlier in the week he wanted to see his guys play clean, play hard, play fast. And aside from some defensive penalties, he's gotten pretty much what he wanted to see so far here tonight. As the extra point is up and good, 28-0 now, Lumberjacks with the lead. And that really has been the only negative here so far tonight for SFA here in their home opener is the defensive penalties. In that first quarter, in fact, Jacks were penalized 4 times for 57 yards, all on the defense.
Yeah, and I think coming into this game, you know, on paper, a Division II school, your Division I school, if you'd have asked Coach Carthel what's the most important thing, he'd tell you be clean and injury-free. Well, we've had some injuries here tonight, and you mentioned defensively the penalties, so got some work to do here. Yeah,
and that really has been the only thing that's kept drives alive for Sul Ross, because when you looked at the first quarter stats, they ran 15 offensive plays for a total of minus 19 yards, 10 rushes for minus 20, 1 of 5 through the air, 1 interception, 1 yard passing. So it's been a struggle offensively for the Lobos here in week 2. They had 66 yards of total offense in the opener against UT Rio Grande Valley. And here just trying to get back to 0. You see the graphic there. Jack's already penalized for 57 yards here tonight. And that's the one thing I suspect that Carthel and his staff will be working on here in the coming weeks, is just clean things up. This kick will be fielded at the 1, up the field the numbers, trying to get outside, but good coverage downfield by the Lumberjacks, and they'll trip them up the 15-yard line. Good coverage down there for the Jacks.
I think it was McKellar, number 30.
So McKellar with the tackle. And the Lobos will start out at their own 15-yard line. 1st and 10 here, trailing 28-0. This is the 27th meeting between these two. Last time these two met, 1975. Jacks have won 4 straight in the series and lead 18-8 overall. But again, have not played since 1975. Full house here, and that's a new quarterback. He wanted to hand it off because he could see pressure coming, and there was nowhere to go. The tailback said, no, I don't think so. You got this one. That's Kai Calicote, freshman out of Katy Cypress Falls High School. Calicote dropped for a loss of 2, and it's 2nd down and 12.
And not a ton of room there, but when you did see him move, this guy is lightning quick. He's going to be hard to tackle if he can get some green grass.
Again, option kind of look here is they got 2 backs. Calicote back there, again, gives it this time inside with just a little crease. They get it out to about the 20, a gain of 6. And one Lumberjack a little slow to get up, but back on his feet. So that was Smith with the carry that time. 3rd down and 5 now for Sul Ross.
And this is going to be interesting. One place you don't want your young quarterbacks taking his, first few snaps of his young career being in his 3rd and long, 3rd and medium, where you kind of know what's coming and you can pin your ears back.
They show pressure off the edge. Here it comes. Gives it inside, but nowhere to go, and they get a yard as the Jacks rally quickly. And you would think the Lobos, starting deep in their own end of the field, they're just try to get a little room here. And if we can break one, great. If not, kick it, start over. New punt returner here this time for the Lumberjacks. Couldn't see the number, but we'll get him for you in a minute. As they bring a little pressure, the kick away, line drive, angled away, fielded at the 32, up the far sideline over the 40, and out of bounds at the 41-yard line.
Is that Surratt?
I think so. Stetson Surratt. Out of Midlothian Heritage, we got a break on the field. 8:48 to go, first half, 28-0. Lumberjacks in their home opener over Sul Ross. Back with more FCS Southland Conference football after this on ESPN+. Middle of the second quarter, 28-0. Lumberjacks with the lead. Sam Vidlak remains at quarterback. Richard Reese, the tailback, in the pistol behind him. And he'll hand it to Reese. Straight inside the tackles, out over the 40, out to about the 42-yard line, a gain of 4. Jacks have broken a couple of big ones on the ground. And Reese has taken a couple of swing passes for big yardage. And we'll see if they can get one here. And I suspect we see Gavin Rutherford here at some point. Don't know if we'll see him in the first half. Certainly we will in the second half. Here's Reese, and here is that big one. 50 at the 40, a foot race. Reese, no one will catch him at the 10, into the end zone. Touchdown, Lumberjacks. Richard Reese.
My goodness. Hey, we saw the big one that he broke earlier on the swing pass, but right there they just hand him the ball, and everyone gets out of the way, and there is no one that can catch that guy.
58 yards, Richard Reese. Did you see it, Dan? They get it blocked up great. And safety kind of committed, tried to step up in the hole. Richard Reese ran right around him, and no one is going to catch him. And the Jacks stretch the lead. So Reese, again, a transfer from Baylor.
And that was Riley Ellison, the tight end, just putting in work out there on the edge, opening that up for Reese.
So Alvarado on for the extra point. And again, Sul Ross has had issues here in special teams. They've lined up or jumped 3 times. Jacks have declined most of them. This time they stay put, and Alvarado's kick is up and good. 35-0, 8:13 to go here in the first half. But Reese, he shows that, I mean, that was late in fall camp. There was some concern just before classes began that somebody might come calling.
Right.
But the Jacks were able to hang on to him, and you see why that Carthel was so happy that he remained on this roster here, because anytime he touches it, he can go the distance.
Yeah, and I mean, already above our total for the season coming in tonight, rushing. So just a great job by the Stephen F. Austin offense, getting that ground game going. It's been absent the first 2 games. It has not been absent here tonight.
So apparently there was a penalty on that extra point try that Jacks are going to kick off from the 50 here. And some extra instruction comes in. And we'll see if Hand just puts this one over the tents, or if he's just trying to kind of squib one down there and see if they can get coverage.
Well, if I'm Coach Carthel, the last thing I want to see is Kyrie Payton touch the ball again. He had a big return in the first quarter.
And they will bounce it down there. It's fielded cleanly at the 15 by one of the upbacks, and he was not looking really to go anywhere. Kind of danced around. He went dancing bear on the return for about a yard, gets dropped at the 15-yard line. I think that was one of the tight ends for Sul Ross on the return.
Yeah, that's Dane Hennessy, a freshman, got a lot to learn. That coach is going to tell him, hey, man, if that happens again, just tuck your head, get as far as you can, straight forward. Don't try to make anybody miss, and we'll get our best position that we can.
A lot of fresh folks on the edges here. Charles Demings remains at corner out there for the Lumberjacks. As at quarterback now, Calicote remains with 2 backs in the backfield. This snap high. Calicote chases it down and falls on it. He did not. It's loose. It's in the end zone. Touchdown, Lumberjacks. Fumble recovered in the end zone on a high snap. And the Jacks stretch the lead.
I think that's Olafipo, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And he does a great job just seeing the fumble. And he's supposed to be in coverage, but he is instinctive, sees the ball on the ground, comes downhill, and you never know what's going to happen. It looks like Calaquito's going to get on it, but you never know, and he's there to pick it up.
It looked like that Calicote was going to pick it up or fall on it at the 1 yard line, but when he came down, the ball squirted free. Olafipo's there to fall on it in the end zone, and 30 seconds later, Lumberjacks add to the lead. Extra point away from going up 42 here with still 8 minutes to go in the first half. Gets a little tougher next week for SFA. They got Cal Poly coming in here. And the long road trip for Sul Ross continues. Every time they leave, it's a long road trip from Alpine, but they go to Western Oregon next week for a conference game against Western Oregon. So the extra point try on its way. That one is up and good. So 42-0 with 8 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Or first half, rather. We got a timeout on the field. 8 minutes to go. First half, 42-0. SFA with the lead. Back with more FCS football on ESPN+. So back to action now as they put it back in play quickly, and the kick that time sails into the end zone for a touchback. And Sul Ross will start off at their own 25-yard line, trailing 42-0 now. So we've seen two quarterbacks here for Sul Ross, but the one constant for both so far tonight have been high snaps. That last one led to an SFA defensive score.
Yeah, and we saw from the very first snap, Josh Harris, the snap was high. Since tonight, he kind of calmed down a little bit, but then right there on that last drive, two high ones. The first one, Calicote is able to manage to get it, but the second one just is too high, ends up being a fumble for a recovery in the end zone.
So 1st and 10 here. The snap again a little high, and a flag flies on that. So we got a false start, I believe, here against Sul Ross. It'll be 1st and 15 now for the Lobos. As the defense has done a great job. I mean, Jacks have gotten out of this game so far exactly, I think, what they wanted to here in the first half. They've not allowed much defensively, and they've scored on virtually every possession here on the offensive end.
Yeah, if that team cleans up some of the defensive penalties early, they're going to be very good looking forward this year.
Calicote running the option, keeps it, turns it up, trying to get up some room. That ball stripped free, and it's loose, and a big pile back at the 18-yard line as SFA trying to force another turnover as they unstack it.
It looks like Sul Ross got back on it, but you're right. I mean, a big hit. He kind of spins off of one tackle, and then a big hit lodges that ball out of there.
So 2nd down at an 18 now. Get all of ESPN college football all in one place with the all-new ESPN app. Unlock with the ESPN Unlimited plan or log in with your TV provider. ESPN college football on the ESPN app. 2nd down and 18. 7:20 to go first half here on ESPN Plus tonight. 3 straight at home for the Lumberjacks. They got Cal Poly here next Saturday night at 7. As Calicote gives, coming right, but the Jacks get good pressure, and that's the ball popped free, picked up, scoop, score, Lumberjacks. They let it go. I'm sure it'll be reviewed, but the Jacks force another turnover and get another defensive score.
And that's Michael Woods with the return for a touchdown. We'll see if it stands. You can't tell it from that angle.
Nope.
It almost looks like the ball's moving before he's down, but that's not a great angle. To me, right there, it looks like it's moving. He gets a helmet on it as he's coming down, and you see the ball move right up. There's going to have to be a better angle, I think, to overturn it either way.
Yep, and they let it go. Nobody blew a whistle. It was live, so the Jacks scooped, scored. As We just got to hold things up here. Replay trying to get an extra look at it. Official still, now they're going to buzz him over, and he will look at it. But Cody Ford was applying the initial pressure there for the Lumberjacks. So they'll review this one. And I think, guys, that they'll take a timeout as well. 6:59 to go. A real one this time. 6:59 to go first half. 48-0 pending score after this review. SFA football on ESPN+. 6:59 to go. The review concluded during that timeout, and the call was upheld, so the Lumberjacks line up for the extra point. So back-to-back defensive scores now on basically a tackle for a loss and a strip. It gets scooped and scored, so 2 quick scores. That's less than like a minute, 2 defensive touchdowns. So the extra point up and good makes it 48-0 now with 7 minutes to go. Nicole down on the sidelines got a quick update for us. Nicole.
Yep, so every time SFA scores, the Lumberjack mascots have to match the team's point total with push-ups. So when the Jacks just went 49-0, that meant that the Lumberjack mascot now has to do 49 straight push-ups. He's been getting quite the workout in tonight, and it's not the best day to be the mascot for the Lumberjacks. Guys?
It's just another reason that I was never a mascot.
Well, think about it.
You can add that to the list.
Well, think about it. It's a domino effect because it's 49, but he just had to do
48 or 42.
Exactly. So, I mean, by the end of the night, I mean, he could end up doing, you know, a couple hundred.
Yeah, so he was up to what? 91 in the last minute.
Man. He is going to look like a real Lumberjack by the end of the night.
He's shredded.
If it stays on this pace.
Yeah, the mascot may be the guy waving a white flag in a minute. So 6:59 to go first half now. 49-0 after that extra point a moment ago. And here's the kick. High, short spinner this time. Fielded on the run at the 3. Trying to come across the field at the 10. Trying to get to the edge, but there is no edge. The Jacks are there. And they'll make the tackle at about the 12-yard line. Just nowhere to go that time as they were trying to get to the edge and could not quite get there. Yamo Lamanya on that return. They mark it at the 10. So that's, I mean, again, here's Sul Ross now backed up, and this has not been good for the Lobo offense with nowhere to operate. 2 high snaps and a strip have led to defensive scores. We'll see what they can do here. Another high snap, running the option, turning it up. Calicote that time back to the line of scrimmage, no gain.
I think that was Cameron Reddick that ran that down from the backside. Just made a great instinctive play to get downhill and get up tackle at the line of scrimmage.
Baduse and Fields up front inside. On the edges, Cody Ford out there at one of the defensive end spots. And Ani out there at the other end right now, or outside linebacker. So Ani, number 32, wearing a different number here tonight. 2nd down and 10 for Sul Ross. Calicote back to his right. See if he throws it. He will. Pressure, stepped up. Now tries to get away at the 10, out to the 15. Keeps it moving to about the 17. Jacks finally will get a host of players there and wrestle him down. Calicote that time turned at least into a positive play. They'll mark him down, it appears, at about the 16-yard line.
And that's a tough run. I mean, there's not a whole lot of freshman quarterbacks you see put their shoulders down and just try to drive the ball forward. A great effort by that young man.
Demings apparently lost his helmet on that one. He'll come out as Mayo will come in at corner for the Lumberjacks. 3rd down and 3. Sul Ross has picked up 5 first downs on the night. I think 4 of them have been on penalties. So 3rd and 3 here. Calicote coming right. Turns it up, but he has nowhere to go. He was met in the hole by Cody Ford, among others, as he'll lose yardage back to the 16-yard line.
And that's a great job by Cody Ford, reading that offensive lines, pulling and just getting on that hip, riding that wave until he finds that ball carrier. That's exactly how you teach it from that defensive tackle spot.
So Surratt again back for the Lumberjacks in punt formation. Here's a return man. He waits back at the Lumberjack 40-yard line. As the Lobos will kick this way, clock running. And, you know, that's the one thing that they really, you would think that they'd start just kind of milking the clock. Stay in the huddle, get set, run 40 seconds off each possession. They almost get that one. They run into the kicker, flags fly. And Surratt feels it on a bounce and will go down immediately at about the 43-yard line. But this, I would think, will be roughing the kicker, and it would be another first down here for Sul Ross.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned the 5 first downs, 4 of them coming off of penalties. It looks like it's fixed to be a 6th one, 5th on penalties.
Roughing the kicker, number 10, defense, 15-yard penalty from previous spots, automatic, first down.
So roughing the kicker is the call, 15-yard penalty. And this will bring it out beyond the 20-yard line, out to about the 30-yard line. It should mark it at about the 31, 32.
And sometimes you see those kickers do a little acting job. That one, no acting necessary. That was about as bad as you've seen as far as roughing the kicker goes.
So they say it was Jarrell Wembley that ran into him, trying to get pressure right up the gut that time. Defense back to work. 1st and 10 now, Sul Ross. Calicote, tailback to his left. And they run that counter again, but Jacks beat him to the punch as Smith has nowhere to go. He's dropped for a loss of 3 back at the 28-yard line. It's like that the left guard pulls and the tackle beats him to the exchange.
Just a great job in the film room learning what you're reading. Your guards are pulling, your tackles are pulling. Here's what we want to do. We want to get in his hip. We want to ride with him until we find that ball carrier. That's just the coaching points and the techniques coming out. You see it live in a real game situation. The coaching staff has to be happy with that.
Trey Bates, the sophomore defensive lineman out of Denton Ryan, in there now for the Lumberjacks. 2nd down, 13. And this time, Sul Ross letting some time expire here as they wait for the snap, take it. Calicote swing it out right side. The Jacks get there as the ball gets there. Tackle made back at the 24-yard line. And that one was, if it's in the air a half second longer, it's probably a pick 6.
And that's Jaden Johnson. He's already got an interception here tonight. He almost had another one there. Just very instinctive coming downhill on that throw.
You can see here this one, he kind of clutches it, throws it out there. And, I mean, Johnson gets there as the ball arrived. And the receiver is just a good job, frankly, just to hang on to that one.
And, you know, it's behind the line of scrimmage, but that is a long throw from the far hash to the sideline.
3rd and long. Here he is again. This is Ramirez back in there at quarterback this time, dumping it over the middle towards Smith, but incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th and long as Ramirez had returned. And they will punt it away with 2:55 to go here in the first half. 49-0 Lumberjacks with the lead. Their last 2 scores have been defensive touchdowns. Surratt back deep for the Lumberjacks once again. Jacks right now with 10 on the line of scrimmage. They back out. They will not come after this one. End over ender. Bounces at about the 50, and Surratt watches it go out of bounds inside the SFA 35-yard line. And that's where the offensive unit will go back to work here for the Lumberjacks. It's been a while, really, since they've been out there.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of defensive scores, a penalty that extended Sul Ross's drive there. It's been a while. You're afraid that maybe your quarterback's arm's gotten a little cold. Maybe you see him over here warming up again.
It's Rutherford that comes out with the huddle this time, so Sam Vidlak's night might be done as Gavin Rutherford will get this possession here with 2:47 left in the first half.
And that's something no coach will say, you know, coming into the game. They'll say we have to take every opponent. But you have to believe that this coaching staff wanted to get some of these young guys in this game.
Here's Rutherford on a give inside with a crease and a tackle on Anthony Williams. Saves a big one as Williams will get it out to the 49-yard line, but that's a gain of 15 yards and a first down here for the Lumberjacks. So Rutherford in there at quarterback. The sophomore out of Katy Cinco Ranch. 5 of 7 on the year. 2 carries for 7 yards on the ground. Gavin deep out left side, caught at the 40. Hurdle, Clayton Whalen down out of bounds inside the Sul Ross 35. They'll mark him out at the 32-yard line as Whalen gets his first catch of the night.
And that was a really good throw by Rutherford. Another long pass from the far hash to the far sideline. You got to really step into that one. Rutherford did a good job there.
You see his numbers there, Gavin, for the year. 71% completion percentage. 56 yards through the air. Had the 1 touchdown against Houston in the opener. And we've come to the 2-minute timeout. 2 minutes left in the first half. 49-0 Lumberjacks with the lead on the move. 1st and 10 at the Sul Ross 32-yard line. This is SFA football on ESPN+. 49-0 Lumberjacks with the lead. Gavin Rutherford on at quarterback now here on this series for the Jacks as he takes over for Sam Vidlac. As SFA looks to score an offensive touchdown. Handoff coming right. Williams cuts it back. And will be bottled up and stopped for a gain of only 1 that time. As leading the way that time, Jacob Johnson leading the way for Sul Ross. They're going to give him the 30-yard line, give him 2 on that carry.
And Jacob Johnson, as a junior, is one of the older players on this Sul Ross defense. So nice to see your leader coming up and making a tackle.
2nd down and 8 here. Rutherford to pass. Little shoulder shrug. Wants one up the seam. Has a man. Caught. Touchdown Lumberjacks. Nice little shoulder pump there. And then his man behind the secondary. That's Davis, I believe, with the reception.
I think that was Isaiah Davis, number 14. Just a great job by Rutherford, selling it on the pump and then getting his eyes on that safety, realizing he can't get there in time. Let me throw this ball where my guy can get it, go score.
So the unhappiest man in the building right now, the mascot. That's 55, fixed to be 56 more. Push-ups for the old mascot here in a minute. Nicole's going to get him, find out if the trainers have an extra IV.
I think he's probably going to come over here and ask Nicole to take over at some point.
Here's the extra point, Alvarado on. As his kick is up and good. 1:24 left. 56-0. If you were with us in the open, Nicole talked about the opener last year for the Lumberjacks against North America. They put 70 on the board in the first half, and they adjusted things in the second half. And I think that the one thing the Lumberjacks will do in the second half is it's ROTC lines up out there. You see the flags and the mascot. Where's the Lumberjack? He's in the north end zone. There he is. Here we go. They count them down. Those are with that pass muster in the weight room. That's not really a push-up, is it? That's just kind of.
Listen, at 56 after doing 49 and 42 and 30. Listen, however you can get them done, big guy, get them done.
There you go.
Ask the lady Jack to take a few. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's possible. Oh, he went deep on that 56th one, and now
he is exhausted. He
is looking right now. He's looking for the R&K booth.
He is not going to make it to the fourth quarter if we stay on this path. We are going to be. It is going to be open tryouts. If you have ever desired to be a Lumberjack.
Here's your chance to be a mascot. I wanted, there was a time where I thought, man, what we need is a guy in a gorilla suit. That's what we need. But they got the whole Lumberjack doing 56 push-ups. And here's the kick. This will be fielded. Nope, and they'll let it sail into the end zone for the touchback with 1:24 left, first half. And Sul Ross looking for their first points of the night. They got a good kick return early in the first quarter, set up really good field position out beyond the 40-yard line. Some penalties moved it all the way down inside the 20, but they came up empty. And that really has been their best chance to put points on the board here so far tonight.
Yeah, and we've seen these flashes from Sul Ross, whether it's the kick return, whether it's, Martinez had a really good scramble in that first quarter. You've seen these little bits and pieces. If they can just string a few of them together, they can get on the board here, but they've got to do it consistently.
First and 10, Martinez back at quarterback. Handoff, looking for a hole and taking his time and finally pushing it forward for a couple. Go the Lobos as they umpile things there. As Kendrick Jefferson with the carry that time for Sul Ross. Clock runs, 1:05 left, and they're, I don't think, going to be in any big hurry.
Yeah, and it's been a while since we've talked about the humidity, but this is a West Texas team. The humidity has got to be wearing on this team, as well as just, you can't help but feel down at 56-0. I'm sure they want to get into the halftime, regroup, and come out with a better punch.
So second down and 8 now. And the Lobos will give it inside again, and that ball popped free. As Jefferson was stood up, and then it came free, and I believe the Lobos get back on it. As their tight end's going to fall on it for the recovery, I believe.
I think the Jacks recovered that ball. I think Tim Muhammad recovered it. Now the question is, was he down? It almost looked like he landed on a player, not the ground.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, and we'll look at it here. Now the ball was already free there. Diego Coleman was trying to get it for Sul Ross, but as Hunter pointed out, Muhammad, you can see him, the first man there on top of the ball. And the officials indicate that it is Lumberjack football here with 21 seconds left. And now, does Kobe Carthel just take a knee? And so they will review this one. So the two quick looks we had at it, we could not tell whether he was down or not. But again, the ruling on the field was that it was a fumble and a recovery by the defense. And here's a better look at it. Boom, hit, spun around there, and he's never made his elbow could have been down.
That's what I was looking at. The right elbow, kind of as the ball is coming out, it looks like his right elbow may have contacted the ground. It's very close. You can see right here,
boom.
Elbow is but is the elbow on the ground? I mean, it almost looks like he was still kind of being held up by that SFA defender. This is a tough one. This is when you don't really want to be the replay official because you don't want to make this call.
That's never wanted to be replay official either.
The cleat is in the way right there where it looks like his elbow was on the ground, but you can't see it because of that cleat. So unless they've got a different right there, it almost looks like his elbow is on the ground, but you don't have a clear view of it. You're looking at a defender's cleat and you're kind of inferring that his elbow's on the ground.
Which you can't do.
Exactly. So unless they've got a better angle, because they ruled it a fumble, I don't know that this is going to be able to get overturned.
Back in the old days when we were doing this without pictures, we made these decisions quickly and efficiently.
Well, it would give the Jacks great field position. I know the Lumberjack is not wanting to do any more push-ups here. He's wanting to catch some
He
water.
wants to get. So it'll be first down Lumberjacks. And then now the question, do you take one more shot here up 56-0, or do you just take a knee, go into the locker room? And I think that's what they'll do, is they'll just run out these final 21 seconds. They're going to put a little bit of time back on the clock. So really, they'll just have to take a knee here as it's inside 40 seconds. And once they respot the ball, that'll do it for the first half. So the Jacks get everything out of this first 30 minutes of football here that they wanted to tonight. Efficient offensively, dominating defensively, 56-0 at the half.
Yeah, clean up some penalties. You saw a couple of injuries. Other than that, very good half for the Jacks. Sul Ross got a lot of work to do here at halftime.
56-0 Lumberjacks with the lead. Coming up at the half, we'll look at the stats from the first half, run over some scores from the rest of the Southland Conference here tonight. 56-0 Lumberjacks in control here in their home opener in 2025. Back with more after this on the Lumberjacks.
So if you guys have been a fan of SFA football for a very long time, you may have noticed that the players used to walk up this hill. It was called the Go Path to their locker room at halftime. This is the first game that the players have walked up the steps to their locker room at halftime. I talked to Coach Carthel about it, and he was so excited about these renovations to Homer Bryce Stadium. Guys?
So a set of steps instead of when it rains, that the old hill got slippery. I was always worried somebody was going to roll an ankle. Now they've got concrete steps. Looks a little better too.
We were down on the field doing off-season workouts it was a little bit snowy on the ground, to be surprised, and I watched our running back just eat it about halfway down that hill and roll the rest of the way. Can't do that anymore with the stairs.
Yeah. Stairs with a handrail down the middle. It's all legit. So the Lumberjacks are going to get the ball here to start things off in the third quarter. As we've been 8-minute clock here in each quarter in the second half, as this kick will sail into the end zone for a touchback. So the Jacks will start out 1st and 10 at their own 25. Gavin Rutherford will be the quarterback, completed both of his pass attempts in the first half for 49 yards and a touchdown.
And what is that? Probably a 12-hour drive back to Sul Ross, so 8-minute quarters for them. I'm sure they're happy. Get some more reps in the second half, but if you can leave a little bit earlier, so be it.
Yeah, somebody told the ops guy, call Chick-fil-A, get that stuff here quick. So 1st and 10 SFA, they'll send 3 receivers to the short side of the field, top of the screen. Single receiver out left, and Rutherford will keep it. Pulls it out left side, coming left, and gets tripped up, knocked down at the 26-yard line, only a gain of 1, as he takes a pretty good shot on that right knee. And then that's what we mentioned at halftime. The only thing that SFA does not want to see, in fact, that either of these teams want to see, would be trainers on the field in the second half.
And Gavin Rutherford's looking at Stetson Surratt like, man, hold that block, because if you do, I'm off to the races.
Gain of 1, 2nd down and 9. Rutherford this time gives it, coming left, stiff arm at the 30, and out of bounds at about the 33-yard line will go Wembley, as he'll gain 7, and it's 3rd down and a couple now for the Lumberjacks.
And Evian Thompson did a good job contacting Wembley, just couldn't quite get him to the ground. Wembley ends up carrying him for a few more yards and makes it 3rd and manageable.
The Jacks trying to convert here on 3rd down. They only faced a handful of 3rd down situations in that first half. But again, they were efficient offensively. They scored on every possession but one punt in that first 30 minutes of play. 3rd down and 2 here. Rutherford give it inside. Wembley again with the 1st down. Breaks 1 tackle and then is dropped at the 40. As he'll pick up 7 more. And he came on late last week against Abilene Christian and really did a good job of running between the tackles, and that's what we've seen him do here.
Yeah, and we've already seen Reese with the speed break a big play, break 2 big plays, but we see Wembley here. He's more the bruiser, put his head down and get positive yards.
Little low snap handled. Rutherford rolls right, looks deep, has a man caught at the 40 and out of bounds at about the 36-yard line. Go the Lumberjacks.
And that's Aiden Meeks, another young guy that's finally going to get some reps here tonight for this Stephen F. Austin offense.
So 1st and 10, SFA now in Sul Ross territory.
Great job by Rutherford. Yeah. That's a hard throw to make on the run. Layer it over a linebacker and under a safety. Good throw.
So 1st and 10, SFA. Gavin takes the snap again. This time it's Anthony Williams back there. He'll get it down inside the 35. Leans forward to about the 31-yard line. And it's 2nd down and 6 now. Clock running, 5:50 to play, 3rd quarter, 56-0. Lumberjacks, first of 3 straight here at home. Back here next Saturday night against Cal Poly out of the Big Sky Conference. And then they got McNeese State. Here's a run left side this time for about 3 or 4 down inside the 30, close to the 28. Williams with the carry and sets up another 3rd down for the Lumberjacks. And right now, Carthel just keep the clock running, keep getting 1st downs. And in the words of Hank Stram, just matriculate it on down the field, boys.
And you're really wanting to get this young offensive line some chances to get their heads down in that run blocking game. A lot of these guys have come from offenses in high school where all they do is pass protect or get out on screens. This is a great time to get those young guys in there and show them, put your hand in the dirt, get your head down, and let's do some run blocking, forward pressing.
Marius Walker is a sophomore tight end in there now. And here is a run right up the middle. And the Jacks keep matriculating it right on down the field. Williams again with the carry, first down SFA as he takes it down to the 21-yard line.
And remember, they came into the game with no Jalen Jenkins, so really just 3 backs here tonight for Stephen F. Austin.
So Walker at tight end. We'll get the rest of them for you in a moment up there, but Walker right now in a wing to the right. Rutherford looks things over, hands it off to Williams, left tackle. Down inside the 15 to about the 14-yard line goes Anthony Williams. And if nothing else, this is going to make it a quick second half because the clock started and it has not stopped since the kick to start the third quarter here. The Lumberjacks have run it. And look at that, second down and about 3. Rutherford tosses it to the right this time. Williams trying to get to the edge, cuts it back against the grain, stays on his feet down inside the 10. And Williams tripped up and dropped at around the 6-yard line. They'll spot it closer to the 7, but it's a first and goal now for the Lumberjacks. As it's been all Anthony Williams behind this offensive line. Little Wildcat, direct snap to Williams. He leans at the goal line, but he's going to be down at about the 1. Now we got a punch thrown in the end zone by Sul Ross. As that was, I think, Jared Manis back there with one of the Sul Ross defenders and gave him a little shove, and then it was a kind of a half-hearted punch that got the penalty flags in the air.
After the play was over, sportsmanlike conduct was 0. Defense, his first of the game. Confidence is full. Automatic. First down.
So that's going to be Daryl Miner, the linebacker,
Yep.
a senior. You typically don't see those veteran guys making mistakes like that, but you know it hasn't gone their way tonight. I don't blame him for letting his temper get the best of him.
Boom, and there was the penalty. It's a rabbit punch. Got him in the back of the head. With 2 officials standing there. So first and goal now for the Jacks at the 1-yard line. Power set to the left. Williams at the 1, leans forward into the end zone. Touchdown SFA. So Williams puts the 62nd point on the board. 63rd to follow with the extra point. And the Lumberjacks take the opening kick of the third quarter, take about 5 minutes and 15 seconds off the clock, march it down the field and punch it in.
And one thing that Lee Hayes, the first-year head coach for Sul Ross, is going to be happy with is if you watch that replay, they've got guys in the right position. They're just a little bit late and a little bit, they don't have hats on the ball. They have arms on the ball. You can correct that as you go, and of course as you play guys closer to your Division II level.
So the extra point is up and good. So with 2:45 left in the third, our new score now 63-0. Stephen F. Austin over Sul Ross. 63-0 Lumberjacks as they take it 75 yards on the opening possession of the third quarter, add a touchdown, and they lead 63-0 here over Sul Ross. If you're the Lobos right now offensively, you just want something positive to happen. Get some points on the board. They were shut out in their opener 66-0. Trail here now 63-0.
And again, I go back to this. We've seen flashes. Can you do it consistently and string together a drive that finishes with either a field goal or a touchdown?
They'll start at their own 25 as the kick sails into the end zone. Jacob Hand with the kick there for SFA. Sul Ross on the road again next week at Western Oregon as they open up Lone Star Conference play. Lumberjacks at home against Cal Poly of the Big Sky Conference.
And we've seen
Cal
both
Poly, I
quarterbacks.
think, had Western Oregon tonight.
That's right. And we've seen both quarterbacks for Sul Ross here tonight. It'll be interesting to see which one they go with here to start the second half. It looks like it's going to be Martinez.
So he brings them out. As they'll set things up first and 10 at their own 25, and they start out with a 2 tight end set here and 2 backs in the backfield with Martinez. So maybe they're going to try to shorten this thing up, just keep it on the ground and keep the clock running. As they'll move it forward to close to the 29-yard line, a gain of about 4.
And a good initial push by that offensive line. They pull a guard and a tackle, get out in front of that line, that running back, and they do a good job of opening it up. It just that SFA defense, even these 2s and 3s that are in right now, is very fast, and they're going to close quickly.
Yeah, Cal Poly hosting Western Oregon tonight with 12 minutes to go in the third quarter. Cal Poly leads 35-0 over Western Oregon. So second down and 6. Jacks bring in Tim Muhammad late. And are they going to burn a timeout?
I think Sul Ross called the timeout, if I'm not mistaken.
So timeout on the field. 2 minutes to go, third quarter. 63-0 Lumberjacks with the lead. This is FCS football on ESPN+. 2 minutes to go, third quarter, as we return to action here. Sul Ross looks at second down at about 6 at their own 29-yard line. Jacks in the backfield there as the handoff is made. Stood up and dropped for a loss back to the 26-yard line. Great penetration that time by the Lumberjacks. And that was Kadarian Erskine, I believe, transfer from Trinity Valley. First man there.
Yeah, and just does a great job of attacking the mesh point. It was where the quarterback and the running back is. The quarterback could pull it. It's a read option. They teach you just go at the mesh point, and if you can tackle both of them, go for it.
So third and long now for Sul Ross. Clock continues to run. 1:24 left here in the third. And they'll keep it on the ground once again. Bouncing it outside. They get to the edge. Upfield 35, out close to the 40, and they'll have the first down. So the Lobos, a little burst there around the right end. As they get a good positive play. Kendrick Jefferson with the carry. First and 10 Lobos with a minute left here in the third.
Yeah, and Jefferson had a big run in the first quarter as well. He's been the kind of the spark of their offense. And now you get a first down, get some momentum going, see if you can string one together.
A knee up there, left defensive end. At tackle right now, looks like Kylan Darville, one of them. Remember, Kamard Kimball went off the field in the first half with an injury. We haven't seen him since. Here's a hand inside, but stacked up. A knee is among those there for the Lumberjacks, as they will bottle this one up, push it back for no gain. Also out there for the Jacks, Cody Ford at right defensive end. As Jacks all cut, did they call a timeout?
No, it's going to be in the
Clock.
quarter.
So
Yep.
They will not run another play here in the third. Timeout at the end of the third quarter. 63-0 Lumberjacks with the lead here in the home opener for SFA football on ESPN+. Here at Homer Bryce Stadium, home opener for the Lumberjacks as they lead it 63-0 here after 3. 8 minutes remaining to be played in this one. Jacks have Cal Poly here next week. They lead Western Oregon 35-0 at last report. And Sul Ross will be at Western Oregon next Saturday night. Lone Star Conference opener for both of those teams. And Ole Miss right now with a lead over Arkansas late in that one. And the Aggies had a lead over Notre Dame last time we looked at that one.
Yeah, LSU had a 10-point lead on Florida last time I looked, which is still the same, 20-10 there in Baton Rouge.
Arkansas's cut it to a 41-35 lead for Ole Miss. And the Aggies now trail Notre Dame 31-28 with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter in College Station. Or actually in South Bend. I don't know how you would confuse South Bend and College Station. So second down and 10 here as the fourth quarter ready to begin. Sul Ross with the football looking for their first points of 2025. Andrew Martinez, the quarterback, takes the snap. Give it, coming left. Ball knocked free. It's loose. And the Lobos will fall on it back at about the 31-yard line.
Cyrus Beckley on the recovery, and I think that was Jefferson again. That was the ball carrier.
It was, and his left hand just poked that one out, and Jefferson was still down out there at midfield after that. You can see it right here. That hand comes around, boom, right on the ball, knocking it free. Jacks had a chance.
That was Darville, the freshman defensive end for the Jacks that punched that ball loose.
And so what we did not want to see here in the second half, trainers on the field, and we see that here as the Lobos with their injured tailback. They check him out, but hopefully he's all right as they help him up. You can see the Sul Ross trainer here looking to the near sideline and giving the SFA athletic staff or training staff a thumbs up. So apparently just rolled the ankle.
And Kendrick Jefferson out of Houston, Texas, he's been probably the brightest spot of their offense. He's had a couple of big runs right there, unfortunately fumbles it, but he's been kind of the only guy to get something going here tonight so far.
So they lose yardage all the way back to their own 32-yard line now. And I would assume when they get set, they'll rewind the clock. They should when we return to action here, but Jack's trying to just put this one, get it to the barn as they lead 63-0, and they'll be playing another FCS opponent, Cal Poly, next week from the Big Sky, and they'll be 1-2 heading into that one, just like they were after week 3 a year ago. They went on a bit of a run in the middle of the season, and it really had things rolling until Vidlac got injured, and I thought Gavin Rutherford came in and played really well for them coming down the stretch and gave them a chance. I mean, they beat Abilene Christian in their final regular season game, a team which went 2 rounds deep in the playoffs. So SFA was right there having a really good year a year ago, and they hope to have that same sort of year this year.
And look, Cal Poly, a very good team. They're 35 up right now on Western Oregon, so they're going to be coming here hungry on coming off of a big win themselves.
So Martinez and company gets ready to go back to work. 7:51 to go here in the ball game tonight. Lumberjacks walking up on the edge. They rush 4. Martinez now being flushed. Rolls to his left near the boundary and has to just bench this one as he had nowhere to go with it. That will stop the clock on the incomplete pass and bring up 4th and about 17 now. And the Lobos will punt it away.
And not a lot you can do offensively at 3rd and 17. So good decision by Martinez to get out of the pocket, see if you can create anything, and then you can't just throw it away and go on about your day.
Cameron Lindbergh now back deep to receive this one for the Lumberjacks. You know, they've had an issue with their regular snaps being high, but they've so far on their punt, on their special teams, they've done a pretty good job. Long snapper's done a good job here tonight. Good snap back, this kick away. Lindbergh comes up, will let it bounce. He has to get away from it, so they'll get a good roll on this one as it will roll to a stop at the 20-yard line. So 48 yards on the punt, no return. Lumberjacks will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. And now, here into the 4th, do we see more Gavin Rutherford? Who will we see here at the controls for the Lumberjacks?
And it looks like they're going to go with J.T. Kitna.
Yep.
The young, I guess he's a sophomore technically.
So there he is, J.T. Kitna, 6'3", 221-pound. Actually, they list him as a freshman out of Midlothian, Ohio. Transferred from Bowling Green. The son of John Kitna, former Seahawks quarterback. 1st and 10 here. Kitna takes the snap. Play action, swings it out left side, but over the head of his intended target on a little flanker screen. A little too high, incomplete. And this is one of those times now where, hey, you got a bunch of guys on the field that they get a chance to, as you said, they put something on video here. Big time teaching situation for the final 7.5 minutes of this one. Getting again out of the gun. Handles the snap. Handoff coming left. And with a little extra effort, out beyond the 25 to the 26-yard line. We'll go
I think that's Braden Lewis.
Yep, Braden Lewis, freshman from Dangerfield. So 3rd down and about 4 now for the Jacks. As SFA in no hurry, Kobe Carthel said beforehand he wanted them to play fast, play hard, play clean. And then in the second half, kind of, you don't have to play as fast.
Yeah, but let me tell you from experience, if this is the only reps that you've gotten all year, and maybe the only reps you do get all year, you're not going to slow down for anything.
So 3rd down and 4, handoff, coming left with some blockers, 35-40. Arm tackle, threw it to the 49-yard line. Nice, strong run coming left there for the Lumberjacks. As Braden Lewis again with the carry.
And that was a great job of being patient and letting everything develop in front of him. The first line of defense, he kind of lets that develop, breaks through it. Then there's a second line of defense. And again, you see him kind of hesitate here, let it open up, and just let that run come to him rather than trying to force the issue. It ends up being a big play.
Jemiah Harvey. Jared Manis up front up there. We got whistles to stop things, as the chains did not move. Okay. So 1st and 10 here for the Lumberjacks. At midfield, Kitna, handoff, Lewis, again the stiff arm, trying to step out of an ankle tackle, and they'll drag him down after a gain of about 3. Clock will continue to run. Over 300 push-ups done by the Lumberjack so far tonight. And now,
if Lewis keeps running like this, it's going to climb.
Yeah. He's going to do 70 this rep. 1 rep of 70. That's how I used to get my workout going. one rep of 70. 70 ounces of pancakes.
Well, if being a Lumberjack mascot doesn't work out for him, he's got a chance to pass Navy SEAL training because the push-ups, he's got them down pat.
Yep, here's Lewis going left this time. Gets it down inside the 45 to about the 44. Yeah, I never, that's, you only have to meet me once to know that 70 push-ups were not in my, I've heard of push-ups before.
I have a lot better time watching them than doing them.
For me, a workout now is like looking for the remote. Where did we put it? Oh, found it. Jacks taking as much time as they can here between each snap. Clock running with 4.5 to play in this one. Up 63-0. I'm sure right now Mr. Kitness chomping at the bit. Let me throw one. He'll hand it off again, though. Here's Lewis with a little crease. Dives forward for a 1st down inside the 40.
And some fresh faces on that offensive line. You also want those guys to get a chance to, communicate some things, get some movement up front, and let those guys, all these guys, you never know when one of these guys is going to have to play a crucial role and a crucial down for you later on in conference play. And that's on both sides of the ball for Stephen F. Austin and for Sul Ross.
Yeah, you see Holly out there. You see Jalen Robinson up front, among others. We mentioned Harvey a moment ago. It is Jared Manis at center right now. And Kitna at quarterback. This time they'll let him throw. Swing it out left side. Caught in the flat. And the Lobos get there quickly and knock him out of bounds. But JT Kitna with his first completion as a Lumberjack there. Driven out of bounds at the 36-yard line. A gain of about 2. 2nd down and 8.
And that was Wembley. Again, Jenkins hurt coming into this game, so they're a little bit depleted in the backfield. It's not a surprise to see a starter, a kind of a guy that's in the front rotation, having to play here later in this game for Stephen F. Austin.
Jacks this time will send 2 tight ends to the left and a flanker split into the right. Kitna. Handoff, coming left. Break 1 tackle, get it down to about the 31-yard line. Goes Braden Lewis. Sets up 3rd and medium here. 3rd about 3.5 for the Lumberjacks. Approaching,
it's going to be.
I don't think they'll have to snap it here before the 2-minute timeout. They may go ahead and do that on 3rd down and 3. Kittner gets them up. Same formation here for the Lumberjacks, and this time they run it in between the tackles and lowering his shoulder. Picking up the first down is Lewis down to about the 26-yard line. And that'll bring us to the 2-minute timeout here. 2 minutes to play in this one with SFA in front, 63-0. They've been in control throughout this one. Jacks closing it out here in their home opener over Sul Ross. Back with more on ESPN+. 2 minutes left in this one. Lumberjacks in front, 63-0. Trying to run the final 2 minutes off this one. They got 2 minutes left. Sul Ross with 2 timeouts. I don't think they're looking to stop the clock. Lumberjacks might run one play and then kneel it out. We'll see. Here's Lewis, left side, inside the 20. Still moving 15, 10, at the 5, leans forward, and they're going to mark him down at the 1. We saw this a year ago, up 70-0. It's hard to, coaches are telling guys, don't score, but hard if you're Braden Lewis to go down at the 1.
I mean, it's your first time in a college football game, just a heck of a run, breaking tackles, finding the creases wherever they come. Stretches out, almost gets it, but they rule him down at the 1. But you're right. You can tell these guys, hey, you know, we're not looking to run up a score or anything like that. But look, these guys are trying to play ball. I mean, they only got so many snaps that realistically that they're going to get all year. These are them. It's time to play.
So first and goal now at the 1. Lumberjacks still in formation here. And they're going to snap it back. New quarterback, handoff in the backfield. This time Sul Ross with some penetration. They'll make the play there. As that's Bryson Broadway now at quarterback. Freshman out of Magnolia West. Second and goal from the 1. And I think that there's a minute left. Carthel's making sure that everybody, I think, that was dressed out is going to get in this one. As he brings in a couple of new receivers.
And it's a Stephen F. Austin tradition since Coach Carthel's been here that when you win games in Homer Bryce Stadium, they play Willie Nelson, turn out the lights, and you can hear it maybe in the background. That has started.
So this time they'll line up in the victory formation and kneel this one out as the clock rolls under 30 seconds to go. And Sul Ross gets a big push on a kneel down. And they'll kneel it, and they do not have to snap it again, and that should do it. So Willie will sing them out as the Lumberjacks move to 1-2 on the year. Sul Ross falls to 0-2 on the season. They've got Western Oregon up next for them, who trail Cal Poly 42-7. Lumberjacks have Cal Poly here a week from tonight. Jacks had a big first half. Sam Bidlack saw what he needed to see. Looking downfield, finds an open man, and the Jacks get a big play out of the tight end as they'll set it up first and goal early in this one, and they were able to punch it in and build an early big lead. Efficient in the first half offensively and dominating defensively throughout this one here tonight. And there's another bright spot there, Richard Reese. He can flat go when he gets them open field.
I think if you ask this coaching staff here in a little bit what they thought about it, they're going to tell you, hey, if we clean up the penalties, we're going to be very good going forward.
So the Jacks with a 63-0 win over Sul Ross as they move to 1-2 on the season. Bright spots all over the place offensively. Jacks, I think, will probably get a big boost of confidence as they head into the game against Cal Poly a week from tonight here at Homer Bryce Stadium, and then they open up conference play against McNeese 2 weeks from tonight here at home. 3 quarterbacks get to play, actually 4 quarterbacks in seeing action here tonight for the Lumberjacks. So you see a lot of people take the field. Nobody, we hope, with any lingering injuries coming out of this one. Bright spots throughout, and a 63-0 win here for the Lumberjacks. So for Hunter Taylor and Nicole Beckelman and our whole team, I'm Rob Myers saying so long from Nacogdoches. The final score again, 63-0 Lumberjacks over Sul Ross. All games airing on the ESPN Network, streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.